Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. I am joined today on the ever-enchanting Miss Lisa Locke McGahee.
Hello.
Alright guys, well, it's done. Comic-Con San Diego has come and gone. Another year has gone by, and I think this year compared to last year, pretty epic in my opinion. I came home last night from work and I was just excited for all the sweaty goodness of trailers and news that had come out on Saturday, because Saturday's the main day and there was so much to look at. I swear I almost fell asleep at the keyboard trying to get through all the stuff that was great. So what we're going to do on the show the next couple days is kind of sort through it all, go through some trailers, go through some news, and basically give our opinions on all of that. Today we're going to cover Marvel news, guys, okay? So tomorrow or the next day we'll cover DC, and then we'll get to miscellaneous stuff. I think Lisa might be a little upset, though, because it might be a couple days before we get to Ready Player One.
I want to talk about Ready Player One.
Okay, well, maybe, how about this? How about tomorrow we do miscellaneous, and then the next time
I have to work tomorrow, so it's going to be late.
We'll do something, don't worry.
I'm just saying.
We'll figure it out.
When I get home from work, you never want to do it because you always think it's too late.
Plenty of days in the week, okay? Alright, guys, so, like I said, we're going to go through some Marvel news, and you guys fire back on the Facebook group, on Twitter, and of course, hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. So, you ready to get into this?
Let's go.
Alright, guys, well...
I mean, at least we get to talk about Thor today.
Okay,
so.
Well, speaking of that blonde-haired devil, the new trailer for Thor Ragnarok arrived yesterday at Hall H, and all of the cast was in attendance. In this trailer, we got further insight to Hela's motivation, an expanded Thor and Banner friendship, as well as featured quite a few action shots of what the heroes are going to be up to in this movie. Now, Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, had a quote to say, "Thor comes home and things are a little different on Asgard. Loki has directed most of his efforts to self-absorbed glorification, not so much good governance. Ragnarok is coming and he's still the god of mischief. What his part is in all this, you'll just have to wait and see." The film comes out November 3rd and of course stars an all-star cast of Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Cate Blanchett, Idris Elba, Jeff Goldblum, Carl Urban, Mark Ruffalo, and of course Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Lisa, you got to watch this several times before I got to watch it last night. What did you think of this trailer?
Number one, Thor is sexy as hell.
Of course, got to get at that. Okay,
Good.
And of course, they know their market. They know what they have because you always got to have that shot with Thor with his shirt off, which they had in this trailer.
Oh my god. Okay, so that number one highlight of the trailer, Thor is sexy. Okay, so now just to the trailer itself. I really liked it. I like seeing Thor and Hulk and their relationship. I think that's going to be kind of a highlight for me in the film. Of course, I love that Loki's back. Never know what's going to happen when you've got Loki around. And of course, I also love Tom Hiddleston, so yeah. I'm cool with him. But I think it's neat because in the trailer, last we saw Loki was pretending to be Odin, right?
Yes, that's the last time we saw Loki.
So
we don't know what he's done with Odin either. So he, hit him away. Of course, rumor has it there are those shots of Thor and Loki on Earth, dressed as regular people. And then there was the post-credit scene in Doctor Strange where Thor comes to Strange for help as well. And of course, they said that Doctor Strange will have a bit of an appearance or a presence in this movie. So I imagine he stuffed him somewhere on Earth and they're trying to find him. Yeah,
so I don't know. I mean, I think we don't really know what's going to happen with Loki, what that's going to be. And in the film, too, you don't really know. I don't really, with time-wise, it looks like it starts, it looks like where Thor and Hulk enter in is maybe somewhere in the middle.
I'm not sure.
I'm wondering how much time is going to happen at the beginning where they explain, why he doesn't have his
hammer
and, what gets him to wherever he is when he meets Hulk. I mean, I think there's going to be...
I'm curious if it's going to be a flashback thing where, we find him at the beginning of the movie. He's already in, being captured or imprisonment or whatever, and then they flash back to how he got there, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, it couldn't have been... But, I mean, it'd be kind of a weird flashback. He said he just lost it the day before. So, that's kind of weird. But anyway...
I would say more than likely, because the last we saw Thor... he left at the end of Age of Ultron to go figure out what's going on with his vision, with the Infinity Stones and all that. So what if, if they pick up right after that where he goes across the bridge and he lands in the bridge and all this bad stuff's happening, perhaps.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I think Kate Blanchett looks awesome. Now, who's Carl Urban?
Carl Urban he's kind of her henchman. I forget the character's name. What is it? I got it right here. Where is
I didn't even notice him in the trailer.
Carl Urban as Scourge. That's who it is. Yes.
Okay, because I didn't even notice him in the trailer.
Yeah, he's like her main henchman or whatever. He's like there's a shot of her and he's standing right beside her. He's all bald headed and stuff like that.
Oh, I'll have to watch it again now. I didn't know he was going to be.
He's
in the movie.
a chameleon. He can do like any
role.
I
like
swear.
Carl Urban. But yeah, I mean, I think Kate Blanchett as like the villain, I'm real excited. I mean, number one, she's an amazing actress. She's even when I was saying yesterday, even when she's supposed to look like scary and goth or whatever, she still looks freaking hot.
She did look really good though. As far as like scary villains.
Yeah, like she looks like she's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for it. I mean, I totally feel like people are saying the trailer has kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy 70s style vibe to it, which I see, but
it's also kind of a callback to kind of like classic Thor stories. With what's his name? Simon. I want to say Neil Simon, but I know that's not right. But like when they had you literally had like a rainbow bridge and it was all colorful and big and stuff like that. Kind of a callback to that style. Because at first, when I first watched the trailer, I was like, oh man, this is like Guardians. What are they doing? But then we rewatched it. I'm like, no, they're not trying to do Guardians. With the music, they're really just trying to call back that classic Thor 70s style is really what it is.
Yeah.
So after watching that, I kind of got it. I am, of course, a little afraid that, it does have a little too jokiness in that.
It's still a Marvel film.
Well, yeah, but it's not. Guardians is its own thing. Guardians, of course, set the precedent to be jokey, but not everything else. Like people criticize Civil War for being too much. I don't think Civil War is too much like that at all.
I don't think this one's going to be too much. I think this one's going to be the jokey. I think it's going to be similar to Civil War and all the others.
Yeah. No.
I don't think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy style funny. I think it's going to be more like the others. Although Chris Hemsworth could do it. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny. Funny. He was great in Ghostbusters and even in Vacation.
He's the best part of Ghostbusters.
That's true. That is true about that. A couple other jokes, a couple of things actually that I want to go through. Main thing is Hulk. Okay, so last time we saw Hulk, he was flying his ship up. Okay, but we know at the end of Ultron he lost the ship because they found it at the bottom of the water. Okay, how did he get from there to across the planet is kind of my thing.
You mean across the galaxy?
Across the galaxy, yeah, across the galaxy. So he ends up there in the arena.
And he doesn't seem to know where he is.
Exactly, but that's the thing too. But when we see him and Thor and Banner talking, he's talking to him like he's telling him about the battle they had yesterday, right? Like as the Hulk. But then Banner has looks like regular clothes on. And I'm like, why does he have regular clothes on if he just turned back from the Hulk? Shouldn't he have they give him some rags or something to wear where it doesn't look like it's, regular, 2017.
You're totally overthinking
it. No. I if anything, if the people at Marvel underthought it, but I think there's something there.
Except you haven't seen the film yet.
Exactly, what I'm saying. So I'm thinking it's just the preview, the way they was cut.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they figured it out.
I'm sure.
They're pretty smart over there.
I'm sure that wasn't an oversight on Marvel's part in the grand scheme of the film.
Staying with the Hulk as well, I liked how, this was also kind of a callback to the classic Planet Hulk storyline, where Hulk is abandoned on this planet and forced to fight in this gladiator arena and eventually becomes king. But also in that storyline, Hulk kind of has a mind of his own. He's not just a raging, monster. So with this, there was that one scene where Thor and Hulk were sitting there, where it made you think that Hulk really has a personality in this one. And maybe, honestly, I don't think we're going to see a lot of Banner in this film either.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because what good is Banner going to do when you're fighting all these apocalyptic monsters, True. I think. So, but then you have the nice little, what I want to say, the Musketeers at the end there. We have the four of them. You got Loki, Valkyrie, Thor, and Hulk all lined up, ready to fight. I'm still questioning, how Valkyrie's going to be in the movie.
I mean, the trailer showed her a lot.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson, great actress. She did great in the movie Creed. So I'm just curious, how she fits in to all this. But we'll just have to wait and see about that. Last little thing I want to talk about was, of course, Thor's lightning. He comes down without his hammer. I'm not sure about that because, I don't know. I've never seen that in the comic.
Creative license.
But then again, I'm not a big Thor guy, so they might have done it or could have done it, and I just don't know about it. But in any event, I will say this little tidbit before we get off this subject matter is, as I told Lisa, if you look online, you don't have to look very hard, people have leaked the Avengers Infinity War special preview they showed at Comic-Con. Why they just didn't officially release it, because they knew it was going to get out, I don't know. But I did watch it earlier, and the very beginning of it is the Guardians of the Galaxy are going by this planet or this place that looks like got completely destroyed, and something goes thud on their windshield, and it's Thor. Mm-hmm. So they pick him up. So remember, this is the last movie until we get to Avengers Infinity War. So I'm thinking this one doesn't end too well if he ends up being a bug on the Milano's windshield.
I guess we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see about that. All right, guys. So moving on, a couple other trailers dropped from Marvel in regards of TV. Marvel and Netflix also debuted another full-length trailer for Defenders, which comes out August 18th on Netflix. So this one, of course, stars Michael Coulter as Luke Cage, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Finn Jones as Iron Fist, and then, of course, they're fighting the evil Sigourney Weaver, otherwise known as Alexandra. Lisa, I know you're not too familiar. You don't watch the TV shows. That's okay. But you even said you thought it looked interesting.
I thought that this trailer to me looked more intriguing than any of the bits and pieces I've seen of any of these individual characters on their own shows.
Okay, fair enough. What looked most interesting to you?
I mean, just the dynamic of them. I like superhero things when they're work. I like interactions and they're not really super. I guess they are. I don't know what you call them, but. Anyway,
yeah.
I thought that the interactions looked interesting. And I like Sigourney Weaver. She's amazing. Mm-hmm. So throwing her in as the bad guy... granted, I don't know any of their backstories, and I'm not going to try to feel like I'm going to watch this because I think if I try, it's not likely to happen. Yeah. But I thought this trailer looked good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I told Josh yesterday, I enjoyed it more than the first trailer, actually. And I think one thing that's going to either kill or save this series is going to be the chemistry between the four leads. You got to make the chemistry work, especially given that in the comics, Luke Cage and Iron Fist are best friends. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones even end up getting married, having a kid. It's going to be the chemistry between those four that really makes it all work. Very similar to how in the first Avengers movie, you have all these individual characters coming together. It's how they interact with each other. It's how they, get along and get together as a team that really is going to, I think, drive home whether this part is going to be successful or not. Now, it's coming off of kind of a step down or a misstep where Iron Fist was the last series to premiere, and it was not as beloved as, say, Daredevil or Jessica Jones, even Luke Cage in that respect. So Iron Fist has been renewed for a second season. For me, I'm just curious again. I'm an Iron Fist fan, so I want them to do better with the character than they did in the first season of Iron Fist, and hopefully it'll recover. But in any event, I've already requested off August 18th for work because this show only has 8 episodes, so I figure I can probably get through all 8 episodes in one day.
You requested that day off work just to watch the show?
I did that with Daredevil Season 2 as well.
You're insane.
Whatever. I was totally forgot, though. I should have requested August 4th, Voltron comes back, too. But in any event, yes, I'm super excited to see this. That's also, by the way, bring your own cup Slurpee to 7-Eleven. So, the plan is, much like I did with Daredevil Season 2, drop Nora off at daycare, go pick up a Slurpee, go pick up a Costco pizza, sit down, and watch Netflix. And that's going to be my August 18th.
What day of the week is that?
Friday.
Good, I'll be working, I'm sure.
Good, I'll be working, yes. Alright, guys. Let's see here. I think that was about it. That's all I had to say about that. Just one little tidbit I want to talk about, of course, is the villain, not Sigourney Weaver, but Elektra. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Daredevil Season 2, close your eyes, clog up your ears, and just, skip this part for just a minute, where it looks like Elektra's going to be the catalyst, I guess, or the main person that they have to fight. At the end of Daredevil Season 2, Elektra got murdered by the Hand, who thought that she was some kind of savior or ultimate warrior for them, and then they put her in a tomb. Now, anyone who knows the comics knows that Elektra comes back from the dead, so we knew she was coming back, but it was kind of cemented in Iron Fist when the villain of that season, actually, the Hand brought him back to life, so we knew, of course, Elektra was coming back. She looks like she has some kind of amnesia going on, so he doesn't know who it is, so it's going to be, I think, Daredevil's mission to bring her back, to get his love back, and I think that could be a really interesting dynamic to add to the series. And we'll see where it goes from there. So, cool? Alright guys, final trailer of today we're going to talk about is the Inhumans trailer. That's right, Marvel and ABC have released another Inhumans trailer set to kind of promote that the series will premiere in IMAX theaters on September 1st. In this one, we get a better view of some of the characters, and it's kind of the cool stuff that they can do, such as Lockjaw, the teleporting dog, Medusa's hair, and plenty of other action and them doing cool things along with that. The characters, of course, maybe not as popular as some of the other Marvel heroes or what maybe, but Marvel and ABC are definitely banking on, I think, the IMAX experience to really push this through. Do you think it's going to be successful?
I don't know. I mean, I have not been overly impressed with these trailers. I
will say this one was better than the last one.
I agree. And this one, I mean, I'll go see it. I'm intrigued enough that I will go see it. But it just looks like a TV movie to me.
It does.
And I can't get past that.
It does look really good, though. Like, even when we were watching it on our smart TV here, the picture quality looked pretty good just for the trailer. If they can bring that kind of... You need to keep that crisp feel, though, in it when it goes to the big screen. You got to make sure it's still bright and vibrant when it does that. Now... Again, I'm not a big Inhumans fan. I've tried several times to get into them. I couldn't. Now, originally, Inhumans was on the slate to be a Marvel movie after Infinity War. This is probably the only film I think they've actually ever taken off their slate that they've announced. And then, of course, they added other films on top of that. But do you think it had to do with kind of the questionability of people liking these characters? I mean, just based on what you've seen, do you feel like, should it have been a big budget movie?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, they must have had a reason. I don't think the unknown nature of these people, of these characters, should have played a part. Because if you think about it, really, in the grand scheme of things, the vast majority of people didn't know shit about Iron Man or Thor or Doctor Strange or Ant-Man. Right, exactly. And those were all very successful big budget films because they were Marvel, because Marvel backed them. I think if Marvel had made an Inhumans film for the big screen, it would have done just as well. I mean, look at what Guardians has done.
Yeah.
I don't think the fact that it's unknown has anything to do with it. They must have just felt for some reason that the script or the idea didn't fit into their cinematic universe.
Yeah, and
that's why they put it to this TV thing.
I think you hit it right on the money there, was that Kevin Feige, he's our father, Lord Kevin Feige, has a grand plan for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and as it, like any plan, as it goes along, it evolves, it changes. What you originally planned for it changes to just, make sure that it flows nicely. And I think Inhumans just didn't fit into the plan as the grander scheme of this world expanded. And that's fine. I don't know. I just feel like it looks exactly. I want to go see it. I'll go see it on IMAX. Definitely want to check it out. September 1st is coming up soon. I better check for tickets too. I guess one of the things that's still throwing us, again, it looks like a TV movie. And even with the part where they did Medusa's hair, it's like... It
looked like I could have done it on my computer at home.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
In any event, yes. I think it's really going to have to depend on the story and the characters to really drive it home, to take away from that TV movie feel. But I'm rooting for it. I have nothing against it. I'm going to give it a try, and hopefully it works out for them. And we'll just have to wait and see about that. So, alright guys, just a couple of pieces of Marvel news that came out yesterday. It was announced that two-time Oscar nominee Michelle Pfeiffer has been cast to play Vanna Jandai in Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp. The film is set to come out July 6th, 2018, and is, of course, comes back, and Peyton Reed is going to direct. You got Michael Douglas back. You got Paul Rudd, Michael Pena, Evangeline Lilly. They're all coming back. Now, Pfeiffer's character was mentioned in the original Ant-Man film to where, trying to take out a Soviet nuclear missile, she went to subatomic quantum realm. Can't believe I said that correctly. And has been stuck there for years. I'm assuming they're going to bring her back. And that's, kind of where they're going to go with it.
Well, that's what they left that totally open at the end of Ant-Man, because that's what he did.
Yeah.
He went subatomic and then he came back.
Exactly.
So now they're going to be like, well, that means you can bring back my mom. So
exactly. They
got
to go find her and stuff like that.
Bring her back.
And it was, of course, people always comment on the brilliance of the fact that when they showed the Pym family picture, Mom had a hat over her face to where they could cast her later.
Yeah.
But Michelle Pfeiffer, great actress, of course. I've loved her ever since Batman Returns and that Catwoman costume, which is still just
whatever. Move on.
Anyway, so yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer, good actress. I'm all aboard about this. You go.
Yeah, no, I think I don't have anything really to say about it. I think she's a great actress. It's never wrong to add talent, and
well, you got to think about too.
I can see her as Evangeline Lilly's mom. I think it fits.
I was gonna say too. What do you think about she is Michael Douglas's wife?
Sure.
Do you feel like the chemistry is going to work the two of them?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fine. I'm excited. I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to another Ant-Man.
Of course.
I like the.
You don't have to wait too long. It comes out in the summer, right?
I know. I like. Well, next summer, right?
Next summer. Wait.
Not this summer.
Summer. Well, yes. We have 1 year.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm excited for it though. I loved the first Ant-Man. And Michael Pena's coming back. He was hilarious. I love Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And I think this looks good.
Cool. All right, guys, last piece of news in regards to Marvel and Comic-Con. Now, of course, Kevin Feige himself was there in Hall H to talk all things Marvel Studios and the cinematic universe, and he shed some light more on the Captain Marvel film coming out starring Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson. Now, Feige has said in the past that this is going to be an origin story, but what he did not say is that it's going to take place in the 90s. That's right, we're going back in time when Nick Fury had 2 eyes, he said, and he did announce that the villains of the film will be none other than the Skrulls. So those of you not familiar with the Skrulls, they first appeared in Fantastic Four #2, and they are shape-shifting aliens that famously went into conflict with the Kree species in the Avengers storyline, the Kree-Skrull War. Of course, the Kree have been introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the Kree also are part of another famous storyline called Secret Invasion, where they posed as superheroes in Marvel Comics for several years to try to infiltrate Earth. And then, of course, it all ended in a big old battle between the heroes and the Skrulls. Captain Marvel is set to come out March 8th, 2019, and directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. So, I know you're not familiar with the Skrulls.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So I'll hold off on that. And what do you think about this movie taking place in the 90s?
I think it's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited for that. Just because, all these Marvel films so far have been, most of them, they're all just overlapping. It's all the same. Captain America was back in time.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's all lineage.
But most of the time, it's all happening at about the same time. There's a lot of overlap. So, I think since they're going to make this an origin story, kind of like with Captain America's origin story, they went back in time to the origin. The only thing that worries me a little bit about this, then, is how are they going to fit her into the other films that take place in the present?
Okay.
Because
I got it.
Brie Larson.
You ready for it? You ready for it? You ready?
Go.
She's in space. Okay.
What does that mean?
She's in space. She's Captain Marvel. She gets her power. She got her powers from Captain Marvel, who was like the Golden Warrior of the Kree Empire.
So she doesn't age.
Okay. No, I'm not saying age, but I'm saying maybe if she does get the power, of course, maybe she ages more slowly, perhaps. But with
You're just making shit up now.
I'm making shit up now, but I'm just saying. If she gets her powers in the 90s as an origin story, okay, she fights the Kree, and then at the end of this one, she goes off into space to help be the Kree protector. That, takes away all the stuff in regards to, the events of Iron Man, Avengers, Captain America, Thor, all that stuff. She's not in it because she's out in space fighting a bigger battle.
I'm talking about the timeline. So, when she comes back, say, to the present, that's going to be, say, 30 years in the future.
Huh?
she can't still look like she's in her early 30s.
Why not?
She
Brie Larson's in her 20s, so
whatever.
Any of it, I think they can because we don't know. I mean, obviously,
traveling through space doesn't stop time.
That's true, but superpowers does. Ha!
Sure. Anyway,
I'm just making.
All I'm saying is that's my only reservation with having this be a back in time. I mean, unless they're gonna freeze her in ice at the end, like Captain America.
No, but she could be, frozen or what is it?
Whatever.
Quit
speculating.
Like in Aliens. No. In space travel, you freeze your body so you can travel light years.
Whatever. I'm just saying.
This is there's a ways around it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All I'm saying is they're.
I am sure they have a plan.
Of course they do.
That's the only thing that I worry about.
There was, of course, the thing about how Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury is going to almost co-star in this film, but something that. Something that I find interesting too about this is maybe this is kind of what starts his ideas for the Avengers Initiative, which of course he talks to Tony about at the end of Iron Man, where he this gives him the idea like there are greater threats out there just than like terrorism, and he's got to form start thinking of ways to fight them, so to speak. But that'd be a good idea, and it'll be interesting to see how they de-age Samuel L. Jackson as well. Yeah. And let's not forget my favorite part about this: '90s references.
I know.
Let's get a little NSYNC going in there, maybe even Vanilla Ice.
Oh god.
Oh gosh, go Power Rangers, yeah, all that stuff. That'll be awesome.
NSYNC was really mostly in the 2000s.
Well, it was kind of late '90s.
They were late '90s.
Late '90s, early 2000s. So let's get some Hammer Pants going. What was really big with like girls in the '90s? What did you like in the '90s?
My Little Ponies. I was a kid in the '90s.
I'm just saying, obviously, like Brie Larson's character is gonna be, like a teenage age kind of. So what would she be into?
I was a teenager in the '90s.
Exactly. So what were you into?
Music. I just like music.
What was like '80s was like jelly bracelets and jean jackets or whatever,
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it'll be funny actually to go back in time and get all those references and stuff like that.
The '90s was kind of crappy though. Really, '80s is better for references.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I guess.
Anyway,
but in regards to the Skrulls, that's another thing I think would be funny too. Is if you bring actors and actresses from the '90s who were like big, and have like the Skrulls actually be like posing as them. Like say you had Luke Perry from 90210. Turns out to be a Skrull. Something like that, How about
that would be funny.
Wouldn't it be hilarious?
That would be funny.
Something like that. That would be funny too. And yeah, so with this, she'll get her powers. She'll, fight the Skrulls and then go up into space and not be found until Infinity War when it all comes to a head with Thanos and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that'll be really cool. Mm-hmm. So, cool. Alright guys, well that is it for us today. Time for you to tell us what you think. Hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Of course, the Facebook group or on Twitter. You can hit us up there. Let us know what you think of the Thor trailer. Are you taking the day off like I am for the Defenders? I'll bet you are. And then let me know if you're planning on seeing IMAX or the Inhumans in IMAX, as well as all the other little tidbits of news we went through today. That's going to be it. Lisa, anything else you want to comment on in regards to Marvel news?
Nope.
And San Diego Comic-Con. I'm having trouble speaking today. I'll have to fix that. So, tune back in the next couple days, guys. Like I said, we're going to be slowly working our way through all this oodles and oodles of Comic-Con news. Hopefully, we're going to get to it all eventually, and then it'll all be just a blast where we can all geek out together about it. So, until next time, may the Force be with us all.